Hey, welcome back to the Invisible Strength podcast. Today's guest truly embodies invisible strength as he has turned his celiac diagnosis into fuel for greatness on the track, in the kitchen, and in life. We'll get into how he's navigated going gluten-free, being a star athlete at the University of Texas, Austin, and get into his faith and how that has helped him navigate some of the ups and downs of dealing with a chronic illness. Logan, we're truly honored to have you on the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm excited to get rolling.
To kick it off, can you share when celiacs entered your life and what symptoms showed up and how that diagnosis came about?
So when I was 15, I was a freshman in high school, and believe it or not, there weren't like any symptoms. But what happened was randomly I would start having some burning in my throat when I would eat or drink, and it was like really bad to the point like I would stop eating for a while. And I went to the doctor and they said, "Oh, just get an endoscopy so we can see what's going on down there." And they come to find out that I would take pills at night and then I'd go right to bed. So I'd lay down. So the pill would just sit here all night and it ended up burning part of my esophagus. And I was like, "Oh, that's not good." So they're like, "Yeah, that's why you're burning all the time and you can't eat." But then they decided to go down a little farther into the small intestine. And they're like, "Hey, we think you might have celiac because it doesn't look right down there." And I was like, "Oh, no way. I'm good. I eat bread all the time." They're like, "Well, let's do some blood tests and let's see." And did the blood test. And sure enough, like, "Yeah, dog, you have celiac. You need to go gluten-free now." And I was heartbroken because I love the bread and the rolls and all the like pastries. And so it was a shot to the system, but we're here.
I can relate to that because I love my bread and pasta and carbs. And while I've gotten gluten free too, it's definitely been a process in trying to adapt to that lifestyle. I'm much older, so I cannot imagine trying to deal with that while being in high school. So, how did you balance like the social aspects with your friends and this now all of a sudden restrict dietary change?
It was hard at first because they didn't really understand what it was. And sometimes people would forget that I was gluten free because for years we would go eat whatever. And then they would like offer me like, "Oh, hey, you want a roll or you want this cookie if we get one?" I'm like, "Oh, I can't." So it definitely took some time to adjust everybody. But after a while you started getting your groove and understand, okay, I can eat stuff here. I really can eat here. This is a good brand to cook for pasta. And so once you get in that groove, you're good. But it definitely was hard at first because I was like, a month ago I could eat this, but now I can't. And so it was like, it made me kind of sad. I was like, I miss all the good, tasty foods. But once you find some tasty gluten-free alternatives, it's really not too bad.
For sure. But it can definitely feel like a loss in that you're grieving that past life. So, how did you process all that, especially at such a young age? I mean, we're not very mature when we're in high school. I can't imagine like emotionally processing that. So, what did that look like for you?
It was a really big suck it up buttercup moment. My parents, they were extremely supportive, but they're also like, "Logan, this is your life now. You can't change that. So you can't go walking around being sorry for yourself and moping around, right? Go be a man and let's suck it up. We're going to find you some really good food. We're going to take care of you. Whatever you need, they'll get it for me." So they were extremely supportive, but also they're like, give me that little push along. Like you have to move on with life and understand this is what your life is like, but it's going to be okay. Like, you're not going to die. We're going to find you food to eat. It's going to be okay.
So you're a track and field star at the University of Texas, Austin, which is amazing.
Thank you.
Um, How has navigating celiacs affected your training and competing at an elite athlete level?
It takes a lot with fueling yourself because you have to make sure you're getting the right amount of carbs, which that's like the huge thing. And if I get pasta, I get a little more than I normally would to make sure that I'm definitely getting enough carbs. I eat a lot of potatoes, but also, I mean, with celiac, I feel like we're brittle in a way. So I have to take extra care of my muscles. I have to get more sleep than other people get. I have to do more treatment and recovery than a normal person might do just because my body is like, dude, we're doing the best we can, but we are breaking down left and right. So It's ensuring that you're living a disciplined life when it comes to eating, sleeping, recovery, whatever you need to do so you can run fast on the track. And so, in a way, you have to miss out on a little bit, like, go and have fun because you're like, "I have to go to bed, like, I'm really tired, I need this sleep so I can rest and recover." But you have to understand it's for the greater good, so you can run fast on TV.
I very much relate to you have to live a disciplined life, even not being an athlete, but just with autoimmune conditions, like you said, needing to sleep more, making sure you're fueling your body in the right way. So, what does a day to day look like for you to ensure that you are truly taking care of yourself?
So, I'll start this from the night prior. So, I typically if it's a down day the following I'll say it's like a down day the following day. I'll try to go to bed still early so I get a lot of sleep, like 9 plus hours. And so I give myself maybe a half hour before bed to try to wind down. So I'm really tired when I hit the bed. I'm like, out. And so once I wake up in the morning, it depends on what the day is like. If it's a chill day, I'll go to class, I'll go eat, go back to another class. We'll have recovery and treatment throughout the day. If you have something going on to, get that fixed. So the next day of practice, you can, go perform at the highest level. And then usually on our down days, we have yoga. So I love to go into yoga, helps me relax, helps me loosen the body up. And then I'll go get a nice dinner and then chill that night and go to bed. And then we just repeat. And if it's practice the next day, we got practice in the morning, afternoon, or just afternoon, depending on what day it is. So it's really planning out your days, making sure you're getting enough fuel, breakfast, lunch, dinner, so that your body has everything it needs to make sure that you can function properly.
For those people who are earlier on in their journey and they might just feel exhausted or even left out by having to make such drastic lifestyle changes to take care of themselves, what would you say to them earlier on about trying to navigate all of this and not feeling left out?
It's going to be hard at first. You have to understand that if you're early in your journey, it's going to hurt. It's going to sting because there are going to be friends who are like, hey, do you want cookie? Do you want a roll? And you're like, I can't. I'm sorry. And at first, it really hurt me. I was sad. But after a while, you start to build that strength inside. You're like, hey, I know I can. It's fine. They eventually start to understand, oh, he can't. Let me not offer that anymore to them. But you also have to understand that there's some really good brands of food out there. And there are a lot of restaurants now that they'll carry a gluten-free burger bun or gluten-free pasta or a gluten-free pizza crust for you. So there's a lot of options and stuff that can be made gluten-free at restaurants if you go out to eat. And then grocery stores also have a lot of options for you. So don't feel like the world is going to end. There's an alternative for pretty much everything. And it's all about finding the brand that tastes the best. You might buy the first brand right when you're diagnosed or told you have to eat gluten free, and it might taste god awful, but they're not all bad. Just keep trying different brands till you find one. I like this one, and then maybe it's I add some more butter to the bread, or I toast the bread, or I add this to the pasta to make it taste a little bit better, or you spice it up some more. So you can do a lot with it if you're cooking, so it tastes is normal to like normal pasta as it can or whatever you're eating. And then eventually you're like, this is normal to me. It tastes great. I love it. And then you're good from there, honestly.
Yeah, I so appreciate you saying that because I do think restaurants are, and just there's a lot more brands out there, but restaurants are getting to be more gluten friendly. I've even noticed if they don't have it specifically on the menu, a lot of places will have a separate gluten free menu. So, can you talk to us a little bit about how you navigated college and those different social settings in avoiding gluten? I would imagine that sometimes, like, you just have to tap out because there aren't options, or have you typically always been able to find alternatives?
Given that we're in Austin, a lot of places are very good with that and they're very knowledgeable of that. But what I'll do before if I go out to eat or if I go on a date, I will call the restaurant or look at the menu online to see if there's a gluten free option. And if the menu doesn't denote anything gluten free, I'll call them and be like, hey, do y'all have any gluten free options? And a lot of time, a lot of the stuff is gluten free with the exception of fried stuff. But if not, they'll be like, yo, yeah, we have a gluten free menu or we can make this or that gluten free. And so a lot of places are really helpful. But I recommend if you're new to this, call the restaurant speak to a human being so there's no misunderstanding because they will tell you the right answer. And if the hostess or host can't tell you, they'll get a manager or someone on the phone that can help you out. That's the biggest thing because you don't want to show up to the restaurant and be like, oh, there's going to be something and there's nothing because that's like the worst thing. I feel like you can have a salad or a fruit cup, dog. That's no. Like, I want some real food, I want more than a salad and a fruit cup.
Appreciate that because I've even noticed, like, on Yelp and some of the apps, they'll be like, "Yes, this place is gluten-free," and it's like a house salad, and it's like, "I don't want that, that sounds terrible."
Like, if I want a salad, okay, but I want more. I would usually want more than a single salad, So yes, yes.
With celiacs, do you have to worry about cross-contamination? How, diligent do you have to be about avoiding the gluten?
So, I mean, it depends on the restaurant. If you go to like a fast food place, you got to be very careful. That's like speak to the manager and hope that they can figure it out and see if they have a separate fryer for just their French fries, for example. Because if they fry the grilled chicken or the fried chicken right next to the French fries and onion rings on the same fryer, you're done for. So, fast food, talk to the manager. And even if you go to a nicer restaurant or a sit down place, talk to your waiter or waitress and they usually can make on the ticket and write a note that says, hey, this person, avoid cross contamination. Sometimes even like a manager will come out and take your order, which is really cool. That makes me feel really good. I feel special.
You
But
know they're not
just ask
messing
them.
up then if the manager's out there talking to you.
Exactly. And so if you're worried about cross contamination, maybe speak to a manager and they will make sure it's right.
Fantastic. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us.
No, happy to join y'all and be here with you. What's going on?
Hey, hey.
So we were just talking about how Logan has navigated going out to eat and finding gluten-free alternatives, both at restaurants and in the grocery store, finding the right, not the right, but the good gluten-free brands, because as we
Yeah.
know, there are some out there that are just terrible and not very edible.
Yeah, but it feels like the technology has stepped it up because I feel like I had a dear friend who had celiacs and announced it back in the early 2000s, and she loved pizza and was trying to get us to like out of solidarity eat some of the gluten-free pizza with her back then was awful, but it's come such a long way, and the cauliflower crust and all of these different things have really stepped it up. So, what has become like your favorite like go-to gluten-free meal?
Ooh, I really like pasta.
Yeah,
That's really I love me some pasta. But don't get me wrong, I like me a good cauliflower crust, like you just said. Some of those are
absolutely.
those are good.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are really good. So I mean, it depends, but definitely like pizza, I like a lot. It's kind of fatty, so I got to be careful with it.
Right?
But if you find a good cauliflower crust or a place that can make you one, dude, it's golden.
Game changer.
Like repeat customer.
Yes.
Well, I found oftentimes the cauliflower crust is even better than the regular crust.
Honestly, it can be.
Hmm.
So, kind of a silver lining is you end up like just eating a bit healthier anyway because you're not eating all the starchy, bad grains that typically come with regular pasta and pizza.
Hmm.
So, Logan, you have gotten into gluten-free baking. What drew you to start experimenting with that, and how has it helped fuel you as an athlete?
I'm gonna be honest. So it's more so brownies, cookies,
Yes.
all the bad stuff that
Yes.
doesn't
Yes.
feel you to be an athlete. But I love chocolate. Like that is my thing. Sweet tooth all the way.
Right.
So I've tried a ton of different cookie brands and brownie brands just to see what tastes good. And I've tried to cook it different amounts of time and different pans, like all this different stuff to see like what I really like. And so I finally am starting to find some brands that I'm like, this is really good. And there are new brands all the time that you see. I didn't notice that brand was on the shelf, but now it's there. And so that's what I really like. That's what I do. It's not at all beneficial. So I have to be very careful with when and how much I do it. But it's just fun to try it and see what's good out there to see how far technology is coming and try it out. What's the worst that can happen?
You'll get no judgment from us because I work out, and all I'm thinking about is like, what I'm gonna have. It's like if I lift heavy, I can have these pancakes later. Like that's how I think. So no judgment from me, my friend.
That's funny.
And Logan works out twice a day, so I'm like,
Man,
you have extra calories that you can eat. I'm like, maybe I need to add another workout to my
that's
day.
right. Get those
Man.
brownies in.
Oh, that's too funny.
Are there any brands that come to mind that you have found have been really beneficial? I know for me, for pasta, the jovial pasta is actually really pretty darn good, and it doesn't go to mush like some of the other brands. Have you had any brands that stand out to you that have been really good for you?
I think it's the Barilla brand. I think it's like a dark brew box, but
Hmm.
honestly, like I'm happy to try their brands. I'm really not married to any brand, but that's one that we've just maybe it's just we have at the Walmart by our house. That's what she
Yeah.
gets, but it tastes great. I have no problems with it at all. At school, I definitely eat a lot of pasta. I don't know what brand they get, but I almost every day I get me a little pasta and meat sauce plate and go to town.
So I was wondering about that at school. So the cafeteria has enough options for you that you're able to still, you don't have to cook at home all the time.
But yeah, they're great. I mean, we have in our dining hall, there's one, if not multiple dietitians sitting in the dining hall during the hours. So if you have any questions, you go talk to them. They'll help
That's
you out. They'll
great.
walk back to the kitchen and talk to the head chef or whatever. But there's like a pasta and a sandwich station on one of the sides. And they know me. I go there all the time. They have my gluten-free sandwich ready. They have my gluten-free pasta.
Hmm.
If you have any questions about what's on the main line, you can talk to one of the dietitians and they'll help you out. They'll see if they can make you something right quick, like whatever. Like they are there for you to help you. And we also can make to-go boxes for ourselves. So I conveniently make me a to-go box quite frequently. And I have it for a snack that night, whatever it is. I usually eat my sandwich for a snack at night before I go to bed. But I mean, if there's something really good that day, I'm like, yeah, I'm taking this somewhere to go so I can have some later on or save for the next day. Like I got some food in my fridge right now that I've got. So that's actually a gluten-free grilled cheese, believe it or not. Because they toast it and they melt all the cheese. It's so good. And so have me a little snack. Yeah, it's great. Just a little pick me up.
And good on you for knowing that you can do the to-go boxes. I found that out too late in college. So that first year, I was just hungry, man. I was like, wait, when is food again? Like, I need this. Good on you.
Yes, got too many nights going hungry. I can't do this anymore. Like
No,
you just said, gotta get that food.
absolutely.
Plus, it's free, so I don't want to spend money.
Right.
For sure. And especially as an athlete, we mentioned you working out twice a day. Like you need to be really fueling your body in a proper way to keep going.
Absolutely.
When you think about that sense of like fuel, like what has been the food that has really been like replenishing for you? Like that sort of, you're paying attention to your body as you are doing these rigorous workouts. Like what has been that food that has made you feel like, okay, I've really like restored myself. I feel like I have fuel to keep going.
It's a really good question because I load up on proteins and then I also load up on carbs. Those are the two main ones. And so I've tried to stick to leaner proteins like the
Mhm.
chicken and definitely I had a lot of salmon to get those fatty acids in there. But then for the pasta, I do a lot of that. I do carbs. I do a lot of what is it? Potatoes. That's what it is for the carbs.
Yes. Yeah.
Pasta and potatoes a lot. And I love sweet potatoes too. So I'll mix
Mhm.
one day I might have regular potatoes, one day it might be sweet potatoes, it could be pasta. It just depends for the
Yeah.
carbs. That's kind of a toss up to see what's available. But I would say if I have some salmon that I'm like, I feel good. I'm trying to get the anti-inflammatory effect and
Yes, sir.
just recover from the practice I just had.
That's right. That's right.
Logan, I was going to ask, so you're an exercise science major. How has like the discipline of managing celiac show up in your working out, and what advice would you give to others who are trying to stay active while navigating what feels like dietary restrictions?
It really just helps with your discipline to say like, no, I can't have this over and over again. But then understand that there is an alternative for you. Cause early on, I was like, oh, let me just have a cookie. I'll be fine if I eat one cookie. And I did that for a while. So I was like, I miss it. But take discipline to understand that although that is sitting right there, or you go to Texas Roadhouse and they plop a basket of rolls right in front of your face, you have to have the discipline, like, no, because you will, for me, I'll get sick, so I can't do it anyways. Like, it's bad. So discipline, even though you really want some, just don't do it. It's going to be okay. Find something else to eat. And like, you can, there's other options for you. And it hurts when you go to a place and they do that, or bring you bread with the table, or you go to
Hmm.
like Olive Garden, you have the breadsticks. It's just like, it just helps you, like, you can do this. It really, you end up getting tougher, some thick skin, and that, it's like, I got this. Like, although it's a temptation, I have to just no, no, no. And eventually it becomes easy. It's like, no problem. Like, I can't eat it anyways, whatever. Let me find something else on the menu. Or
Hmm.
if you want to, you can make some rolls and bring them with you to the restaurant, if you really like, because they have some, like, a recipe for like Roadhouse rolls online. So we make those. My mom makes them for me. They're really good. So, you can do that too.
Have you seen that level of discipline and restraint? Because Lord knows, put those roles in front of most people, they're just, diet. If it wasn't just like going to affect their health, they would just tear it up. But like, how has that sort of level of knowing you need to restrain yourself, knowing you need to have that kind of discipline for your health and for your quality of life? How have you found that level of discipline like translating? Has it helped you with your academics? Has it helped you with your athleticism? Like, do you feel like it's created like a good habit that sort of is permeating other parts of your life too?
Absolutely. I mean, discipline from the food is like, it translates to, all right, I have to get all this homework done before I can do anything else tonight. So sit down and do your homework. You have no option. Because with food, I have no option. There's
Yeah,
no, let me just do it one. No, there is hard no. That's it. That's the end
yeah.
of discussion. So with sports, it's like, I try to go to bed early. I try to make sure I get all the correct fuel. I try to, roll out before I go to bed here and there, just get my body ready for the next day for practice. And it's like, no discussion. You have to do something at night while you're sitting there watching TV. Do something. It's easy just to sit there and just eat a bag of chips, but
Hmm.
just do something productive while you're doing nothing. So it's just, yeah, like, discipline, it definitely translate over every day. I mean, I try to live a disciplined life, try to eat as good as I can, of
Hmm.
course, just, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to run fast. I'm here to be great, and so it
Right.
takes discipline to do what we do. And if you have discipline in all aspects of your life, you're going to be great. It's just a matter of time of when.
Absolutely.
There been any moments or experience, whether it's in track, while you're training, or navigating being gluten free, when you realized your journey was turning into something much bigger than what you thought just the day to day was?
I'm going to try to tie this one back into the whole discipline aspect, because at first, when I was diagnosed, I was like, oh, like, this sucks. Like, my life is over now. Like, I'm not going to be able to
Yeah.
live any longer. But that discipline started becoming discipline with track and other sports in high school. And then it started becoming discipline in college. And so I ended up, a few years ago, I was blessed enough to run at the Olympic trials for the US, and, almost made it to Paris. We were close. We were
Come
a few spots
on.
away. And so it's like, when I got there, I was like, it takes discipline to get here. And
Yeah.
so I was like, celiac just really helped me get discipline every aspect of the life, and day after day of living discipline. You just stack those good days, and it ended up happening. And I was like, this is amazing, And so had I not been diagnosed celiac, maybe I would have been, or maybe not. Because don't get me wrong, before celiac, I was loading up on them rolls at Roadhouse. I would have bread at home. And so it's like, eating all that stuff, you feel like heavy and you just feel
Or
full. And so is that part of the reason? I don't know. I'm not going to discount it. It's very well could be.
These conditions shape us, but there are silver linings that very much come out of these experiences. And to your point, talking about that discipline, I mean, I'm sure that was cultivated more through your journey, whether it was the exact reason for you going on and doing great things, who knows, but it sure as heck didn't hurt your situation and all that you've accomplished.
Yeah, absolutely.
That discipline reminds me of the invisible strength that we talk a lot about on this show. So, what does invisible strength mean to you?
Without giving the cliche answer, if it's like unseen strength, it's like I've been trying to figure like what's the best way to word this. And I mean, it's just that internal strength that people don't know is really there. They don't know what it's like to live your life until they step into your shoes, if ever, you know? And so the strength to keep going every day, understand that when you go out with your friends and they want to go eat at a restaurant that you can't eat at, or you have to take care of yourself and you can't even go out with them. Understand that that takes strength, that they just get a text message that says, hey, I can't go, but it took a lot out of your person that they don't understand because they just got the message that said, hey, I can't go. But there's a whole lot in the background that's happening before that message is even sent. And so strength to keep going during hard times, during your lows, and understand that it's okay and that you can do it. You can get through it. Like your life is not, it's like I said before, it's not going to just end abruptly. You know, you're going to be all right and you're going to get through it. You just have to continue to believe and trust the process.
I appreciate you bringing that up. It gives me the visual of the iceberg. You see just a teeny tiny bit, but there's
Yeah.
so much underneath there.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
all the things that you're talking about in the background, it just reminds me of the invisible strength because there's just so much behind what we have to do on a day-to-day basis to fuel our bodies and take care of ourselves. So I appreciate you bringing that up. Logan, you have been open about your faith. How has that helped you navigate your journey?
It's been great, you know, truly, because I can tell myself, you know, Logan, the Lord's got a plan for you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
why you have to eat gluten-free, why you have celiac, I don't know. I may never know. Probably won't. But he's setting you up for something in the future. Or at the very least, he's setting you up to where you have to rely more on him to get you through this. Because if you have nothing to rely on, if you're just trying to rely on your own strength, you're going to fail. Right?
Right.
Like
Right.
you're going to be empty. But if you have something bigger, something better than yourself to rely on, you're going to be fine because once you understand that he puts you through these trials for a reason, you're going to come out stronger. And so I'm like, you know what? At first I was in a huge valley. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to die. I can't do this. But once I started to see the light at the end tunnel, I was like, okay, like he's giving me strength through this. He's helping me with discipline. All of this stuff that I wouldn't have had otherwise, or wouldn't have been as prominent. Just understand that he's going to get you right and you'll be good. You'll be good. That's it.
Depending on God for your daily gluten-free bread.
That's a good one. I like that.
Logan, I want to give you the opportunity to bring up or talk about anything that we haven't covered that you think would be helpful to people who are trying to figure out their own celiac or autoimmune journey.
Man, you know, something we haven't touched on is that what I did right when I got diagnosed was my parents and I, we went to a dietitian that the GI doctor recommended, who helped me look at labels. Like she gave me a box and read this label and told me how to read it, what to look for. So when I go to the grocery store, I know what to look for in the label, to know where to look. And then when you go to restaurants, look at a menu, how to look at a menu, what typical things could be in certain foods or beverages that you can't have. So that would be like, if you don't know where to start there because they will help you because gluten, some people don't know people think it's like dairy. And I'm like, no, it's not dairy. So then,
Right.
but they just don't know. Like, can you have milk? I'm like, yes, I can have milk, you know?
Right. Right.
So like a dietitian will help you understand and you become an expert on what you have to do when you go to the grocery store or go to a restaurant to eat. And I think that's an amazing first step. That really helped me because I didn't know how to read a label. I was like, there's 50 ingredients. I don't even know how to say half of them. I don't know what to look for. But it's like on the bottom, it says contains bolded wheat, dairy, whatever. And so that was such a game changer for me because then from then on, I looked at the label. I even do that to this day. I'll look at the box, look at the label. I mean, it's great. It's like second nature. I do it in 30 seconds. I can read the whole thing and be done. Easy. Easy money.
It's fantastic. I've also found at the mobile app Olive, you just scan the barcode and it'll say if it has gluten in it. So if you don't understand all the ingredients, sometimes an app like that can be really helpful as well. But Logan, you saying how some people thought that dairy is gluten, I'm wondering if there's any other misconceptions that you've run into or have to educate people on what gluten is or celiac disease.
Just a little bit here and then you'll go to a restaurant and they'll be and like the waiter will be like, hey, can you have this? Like you can tell they really don't know a whole lot about it. And so I'm like, oh no, it's in the bread and like it's like essentially wheat, and I'm like baked stuff, but also if you fry stuff, it's in like batters. And so you have to help educate people just here and there. There was one time, no funny story. I was at a Dairy Queen and one of the workers there tried to argue with me to tell me that it wasn't a real thing. They were like, "Nah, dog." I was trying to get like a Blizzard or whatever, and I was like, "I want like an M&M one because I know M&Ms are good." And they were like, "What do you mean gluten free?" Like, dog, that's not even a real thing. And I was like, "I promise you, it's a real thing."
Right.
And I look back and I can only chuckle because I'm like, "Why am I getting an argument with someone at a Dairy Queen
A deep
over
debate.
this?" I'm like, "It's what I'm saying. Like, I just want a Blizzard or whatever it
That's
is,
all I
whatever they
want.
call it there. I just want a Blizzard, dog." But if people don't understand, I've learned to just talk them through it so they know for the next time if someone else has something, you know, because you don't want to like be rude to them because if you're rude to them, they'll think maybe someone else with food allergy is getting rude to them as well. So I feel like, oh, it's this just to give them a good taste in the mouth.
Hmm.
No pun intended, I guess, but to understand that, this is what it is, and now you know what it is. So if someone asks, you got it. Give them the knowledge, like help them so they can help others.
It's such a healthy thing because there is so much misinformation and disinformation around all of these things. I mean, yeah, I commend you for saying like you want to make sure that they're not gonna like view the next person who has a gluten free need a bad deal, but also it's really helping to save somebody's life, right? Like you don't know how like severe the next person's condition could be, and if this person's like, oh no, it's fine, I'll put they don't have breadcrumbs in Dairy Cream, but I'll put breadcrumbs on it, it could hurt somebody.
Well, and there, if you do accidentally consume, I mean, there can be really not fun ramifications
That's
from
right.
that. So I appreciate you wanting to educate and help people going forward with your experiences.
Really, I mean, like I said, it's only helping others in the future. It's the least we can do. Plus
Sure.
helps you brush up on what it is so you have it fresh in your mind. So you're
Stay
like, oh, it's
sharp.
easy to articulate to someone. You say sharp, that's right.
Logan, any other words of advice for other people who are trying to navigate a condition like yours?
Just it's gonna be okay. Find your brand, look at the labels, ask at restaurants, and you'll start to figure out this is where you can and can't eat. This is a good brand. And like I said, for that, you're set. But it might take you some time. And restaurant menus change, of course. So maybe you go back and try it later on. Just always just be positive, I guess is the main takeaway. Understand that you'll be good and that there's something out there for you. And nowadays a lot of restaurants have stuff for you. So they're very helpful and they're knowledgeable about what it is for the most part. Just it's
I love the positivity and just a reminder to be patient because it is such a process when you're first starting out trying to figure out what's what. And there's
Mhm.
going to be setbacks. You're accidentally going to eat something, or maybe you're like, maybe this cookie is actually worth it this time.
For real.
But the next time you're like, no, it wasn't worth it.
That was a mistake.
Been there.
Right, right, right.
literally.
Logan, I want to thank you so much for being here. You gave us
Mhm.
such a lot of good tips and information about how to navigate this, and just really appreciate your openness and willingness to share with us today.
Oh, of course. I mean, I really appreciate you reaching out. It was so much fun hopping on the call with you guys. Y'all are great. Do you ever need me again? Hey, I'm here. Reach back out. I'd love to chat some more with y'all.
Absolute.
Now you're part of the community, so you're locked in. We
That's it.
definitely will stay connected.
That's right, that's right.
I mean,
Okay.
again, thank you so much. It's so much fun. Really it was.
Thank you. And thank you, Chris, for joining us. I know you're juggling all sorts of different meetings and whatnot, but appreciate you making the time.
No, so glad I was able to join you even for like this the second half, but it was great talking with y'all for sure.
For sure. And to our community, make sure you check out invigorateyourjourney.com. We have top community picks, support groups, and coaching for anyone who's just looking for a bit more support navigating these tough conditions. Until next time, take care. Peace.